Hello, my name is Ken Nair, and I'm the president and founder of Life Partners Christian Ministries. I'd like to take this time to invite you to experience the Life Partners Discovery Seminar. It's been a life-changing opportunity for most. For those of you who have already attended a live presentation of the Discovery Seminar or have viewed the seminar online or on DVD, you may recall that the purpose of the Discovery Seminar is to introduce some biblical concepts and ideas that seem to be unrecognized in the Christian community. And those biblical concepts deal with the following requirements: that a Christian man literally become a living illustration of Christ. As you may remember, at the beginning of the Discovery Seminar, I made a point of drawing attention to this fact. As a means of enabling a man to reach those goals, we employed a wide variety of scriptures which illustrated God's requirements regarding a man's responses to his everyday real-life situations. Remembering that we men are commanded to illustrate Christ in our everyday lives, and that our lives validate, it really is possible to do that. But that's not enough for Life Partners. We feel an obligation to provide additional specific instructions through a variety of paths which will enable a man to literally illustrate Christ in his everyday life, if he will apply those instructions. A significant means of validating whether or not he is successful at illustrating Christ is that his wife would attest to that fact. Toward those goals, Life Partners Christian Ministries further offers, but only to Discovery Seminar alumni, a college-level follow-up course named the Christ Quest Institute, CQI. The CQI is the discipleship aspect of Life Partners Christian Ministries. The CQI discipleship classes teach each student through required Bible study, homework, and lectures. The purpose of the Bible study homework is to prepare that student for the lecture that follows that homework. After the lecture, students meet in a group setting wherein they can ask questions about the lecture. This question and answer time also enables the student to discover God's perspective about each set of circumstances that student faces in their personal lives. Again, the goal is to teach a man how to personally develop Christ-likeness in his everyday, moment-by-moment life situations. It is also imperative, unless it's impossible, that a wife attend the CQI classes with her husband. Let me mention 5 basic concepts that will be thoroughly examined and clearly taught in the Christ Quest Institute. They are, number 1, to teach a man what's actually involved in understanding his own human spirit. That understanding will assist him as he strives to become a more Christ-like spiritual leader. Doesn't it make sense that there's a serious need to bring marriage stability into the Christian community? Isn't it apparent that there's a strong need for Christians to provide the kind of spiritual leadership, especially in their marriages, that Christ would? The CQI classes will clearly define, answer, and give specific instructions to meet this need. Number 2, to teach a man what's specifically involved in dying to self. How does a man put his own flesh to death? Doesn't it make sense that a Christian can't bring stability to his own marriage if he doesn't understand the heart or spirit of his wife so well that in each situation they face in their marriage, his wife would feel as though she's had an encounter with Christ? The CQI classes will clearly define, answer, and give specific instructions to bring that understanding. Number 3, to teach a man what's necessary so that he will actually be capable of literally understanding the mind of a woman, as Christ does. Doesn't it make sense that a man can't bring stability into his home if he can't illustrate that he knows what his wife is thinking in a given situation? He isn't guessing, nor does he think he knows. He knows. And his wife will readily testify that he does indeed know what her thinking would be in a given situation. The CQI classes will clearly define, answer, and give specific instructions to enable this capacity. Number 4, to teach a man what's involved in developing the ability to actually illustrate Christ to his wife in his everyday life. Doesn't it make sense that a man won't be able to pass on any knowledge or understanding about the human spirit if he doesn't thoroughly understand his own human spirit, nor his wife's spirit? The CQI classes will clearly define, answer, and give specific instructions that will qualify this husband. Number 5, to teach a man how to successfully discern God's intentions and directions in every situation. We want to provide a man with the ability to interpret all of life's physical events in such a way that he could and does turn them into beneficial spiritual lessons. And with that knowledge, daily, he could lead his family into victorious living. Doesn't it make sense if a man is unable to specifically identify all of his own emotions, that he's emotionally unfamiliar and dysfunctional? And as such, he won't be able to identify with the emotional needs of his wife or others. And being unfamiliar with emotions, neither would he be able to minister to anyone as Christ would. The CQI classes will clearly define, answer, and give specific instructions to bring a man to spiritual maturity. Here's a short video segment extracted from an actual CQI class. Personalizing the fruit of the Spirit, and this would be part 1. Our goal in this lesson is to develop a means whereby a person can measure the maturity of their own human spirit. Let me reiterate our main focus for the first year of the Christ Quest Institute, and that is becoming aware of our own human spirit, which equals becoming spiritually mature. So let's dissect this word love using Hebrew. The word agape is the Greek form of the Hebrew word ahav. So we're going to examine the word ahav. The Hebrew letters are aleph, hey, and bet. But this is modern Hebrew. And as we've mentioned, the translation of the modern Hebrew word ahav is simply love. However, if we're going to get a much better understanding of what God means when he says love, we need to go to ancient Hebrew. Let's find the root of this word. Our first letter is aleph, and it's a picture or pictograph of the head of an ox. Can you see the head of an ox there? It speaks of strength, strong leader. The second letter, which makes up the root word, is bet, and it's a picture of a house. Can you see it? It's like a teepee with an opening representing the doorway. It represents the word house or home. These two letters now become our root word. When I pronounce this word, some of you are going to recognize what the English is for this word. The Hebrew word is pronounced Abba. You probably recognize that word, right? It's the Hebrew word for father. But now, because of these pictographs and their definition, you can see that we have a much richer meaning for the word father. God's definition for the word we simply interpret as father is the strong leader of the house. Much more descriptive. So now let's make this word even richer. Let's add another pictograph to our word. It's the letter hey. This letter is depicting a window. See if this helps. Can you see a window? A window speaks of looking in or looking out. It reveals from the outside what's inside, or from the inside what's outside. It allows us to behold something. It reveals something. And in this instance, because it's the center of the word, it becomes the heart of this word. Therefore, the ancient Hebrew definition for this word, love, is revealing the heart of the Father. If you've decided to pursue the quest for Christ-likeness we offer, let me take this time to introduce you to the different paths available to alumni of the Discovery Seminar. Here are the different paths to acquire the advanced levels of biblical training offered by Life Partners Christian Ministries. The first CQI path consists of a local live classroom setting, but this path is limited in its availability. It's only possible when and where a CQI leader is available. This path requires a 3-year commitment. The cost to the student, a single person or a husband and wife, for this path is $175 a month. The second CQI path is through a closed-circuit TV system. It has a similar feeling to the live CQI classes, and it is a powerful substitute for non-live CQI classes. The equipment and the initial hookup costs for the system are high, but it can be recovered over the years, as it can be available for multiple groups in that same location. This path requires a 3-year commitment. The cost to the student, a single person or a husband and wife, for this path is $125 a month. The third CQI path is titled the group path. This consists of students who must also complete their Bible study homework online, which is then submitted online to their class's group leader for a review. Once a student has completed the homework, he or she is given online access, which allows them to view the lectures for which that homework was designed. Then once a month, for 2 hours, the group meets online. There they have the opportunity to gain greater understanding of the principles so they can make practical application. This path requires a 2-year commitment. The cost to the student, a single person or a husband and wife, for the enrollment is $150 and then $79.99 a month for 2 years. The first month's $79.99 tuition is covered in the initial $150 enrollment fee. The fourth CQI path is titled the On Your Own path. Although the process for this Bible study and listening to lectures are all the same, there is no oversight of that student. Each student is on their own. Since there is no oversight of this path, there's no time factor to consider for this path. The cost to the student, a single person or a husband and wife, is $749. Still, in any CQI path, as each student feels the need, they can make appointments with the staff at Life Partners Christian Ministries for a one-on-one discipleship. The cost to the student, a single person or a husband and wife, is $85 per hour. If you have not experienced a Discovery Seminar yet, let me invite you to do so. Either attend a seminar or view it online or on DVD. For those of you who have, if you decide to join us for the Christ Quest Institute, I'd like to welcome you. May I also promise you that this will be the most unusual Christian path you have ever walked on. And it will also expose you to a deeper walk than you even thought was possible. Why is that? Because Life Partners Christian Ministries is presenting the same brand of Christianity the apostles died for.